Today we're looking at the top 10 degrees that still guarantee a job. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome to our top 10 countdown that will enlighten your minds with the spark of the most marketable degrees offered in the US and across the world. In olden days, a college degree was seen as currency for securing a better spouse, better cocktail party conversation, and of course, employment. These things haven't really changed, but the priority and ranking of them has. In general, majors like history, philosophy, and social work are essentially penance makers in the modern economy. The focus in modern times is centered around sciences and computers, and they are earning some major sums. What's surprising is that many of the degrees students are earning are not, in fact, preparing them for the workplace. The Washington Post estimates that only 27% of degree holders are using their degree in their field of work. This is concerning considering the investment and student debt that goes along with an education. So you may be wondering, where do I get the most bang for my buck? Who's still hiring for a degree? What degrees are marketable today and hopefully in the future? That's exactly what we're looking at today with our list of the top 10 degrees that still guarantee a job. Let's get started. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Number 10. Biology. This major highlights an increasing trend in higher education in the US and that its emphasis is on the sciences. A biology major may not seem like an obvious choice, and it does require a sharp mind and energy. But the secret to this choice is there's a growing field in biological sciences. The most immediate question may be, well, don't you have to go to medical school to get a graduate degree to use a biology degree? Well, the answer is yes and no. Biology is a great entry to moving toward medical school and becoming an MD or a psychiatrist. But that's not the only fate. There are many openings in genetics, biotechnology, ecology, and environmentalism for a chosen biology degree. The world moves at a breakneck pace, and there are many aspects of the modern economy which center around biology, from lab work to field work. Number 9. Chemical engineering. Here we are again in the sciences. They're hot stuff these days. Chemical engineering may sound humdrum to some people, but to others, it's the stuff of life. You see, we're all living with an aging population. The younger generation is not having as many children as previous generations. And where does that leave us? 2 or 3 generations of older people highly reliant on medications and pharmaceuticals. When is the last time you watched television and did not see a prescription medication commercial? There's a very competitive market for newer and better prescription medications. This is partly the contribution of chemical engineering, and the field is growing. Furthermore, corporations desire to have cutting-edge, better products from fertilizers to better cleaning products, and you've got one hot tamale of a degree. Number 8. Nursing. This, again, falls under the sciences. What you have here is a very practical take on education preparing for the market. As we mentioned in the chemical engineering list, there's an aging population. Well, what goes with aging if not health problems? If you check the job boards, there are constant posts for nursing employment. There's simply not enough certified nurses to fit the bill. What's different about this degree is it does have a separate testing and licensing requirement. There are tons of hospital beds, laboratories, doctors' offices, and clinics just waiting to hire the latest round of nurses, but they must be certified. The aging population and growing population in general means more people and more health problems. So, if one is looking for a practical answer to employment, this is definitely a good choice. Number 7. Psychology. This degree has a mixed reaction on the scientific scale. Psychology is often defined as the study of human behavior relative to individual perspective. It is an intriguing and engaging degree for many people. The paths following a psychology degree range from a licensed counselor to psychiatrist or child therapist. The catch with this degree is it almost always requires a further investment in a secondary degree or certification. From Freud to Maslow, this degree is a rich study in theory and research and can provide a fulfilling and lucrative life to those intrigued by human behavior. The mental health system alone relies heavily on psychological knowledge and training. Number 6. English language and literature. English is the language of the United States and is generally considered the language of international commerce and affairs. The background of English literature cannot be understated. You see, where there is language, there is literature, and a thorough examination of the nuances and history of what is being written in language enriches one's ability to use that language. From reading poetry and prose to a detailed mystery of grammar, English majors are indispensable in a world shaped around the English language. They are the go-to for webmaster MLA questions and the blog writer's sentence parsing problems. English degrees are the backdrop to so many communications which go on in day-to-day life that it's easy to take them for granted, but do without them at your own peril. They have a comprehensive grasp of the underpinnings of so many words we read. And Aluxers, if you want to see where those who have the money spend their money on degrees, check out our video of the top 10 universities where the super rich kids go by clicking in the top right corner. Number 5. Economics. Look at the government debt and what do you ask yourself? How are we going to solve that problem, right? Well, now you know why we need economics degrees. They are the ones who hold the key to unlocking insight to tackling things like the debt, but more often, corporate dynamics and business strategy. Simply put, they deal with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. President Donald Trump himself earned an economics degree, and controversial or not, has put his knowledge to work in enlisting tariffs in the political arena. A framework for economics is critical in structuring business, nonprofits, legislations, and so on. Ask the average representative's office if they have an economics degree on board, and you'd be surprised what an indispensable resource this degree really is. Number 4. Business. Here we have a fine distinction to make between economics degrees, which look at the economy as a whole, and business degrees, which look at how businesses fit into the economy. The number one aim of business degrees is, you guessed it, profit for the individual business or businesses they are serving. They do take courses in economics, but further garner information on business structure, accounting, and the things that add to a business's bottom line. You've probably heard of MBAs or Masters in Business Administration, and they are considered a boon to a business's payroll. But even an undergraduate business major earns a hefty dose of respect, considering the strategy they emerge with along with their degree. Number 3. Government or political science. Think about it. What can you do without government? This may annoy you, but the truth is, you may not even be able to order a reliable light bulb without the involvement of government. Government regulates the research standards behind developing the light bulb, then standardizes the packaging requirements, sets the taxes, and determines the minimum life expectancy. Now you're getting an idea of why government majors are in hot demand. The truth is, like it or not, government is everywhere. Benjamin Franklin said death and taxes, but the modern truth includes road signs and product labeling, import practices, etc. It is a necessary, if not intrusive, presence, and government majors know all about it. They spend their undergraduate days studying different forms of government organizations and formations, and generally can get their fingers in many pies very quickly. As the population grows, so will government in order to serve the people. So, when looking at the array of choices, this is definitely not a bad option. Number 2. Communications. The truth about communications degrees, it doesn't necessarily mean they can carry on a conversation, but push them and they know the dynamics behind them. There is some confusion about communications degrees and sales, which some communications majors do pursue. The science of communications is just that, a breakdown of the dynamics that go into communications from political speeches and rhetoric to modern and historical advertising. They scrutinize the scaffolding that makes the smooth ride out of the things you hear and see around you. They study both written communications and visual forms of sending a message, and their degree has become an integral part of modern business and the continually emerging internet. They are prized as public relations experts, and businesses add hefty chunks to their bottom lines with their advertising advice. Leave it to the accountants to take over for the number crunching after a brilliant ad campaign. Number 1. Computer science. This is the latest and greatest of the technology world, and just to give you some perspective, computers the size of a 20-foot by 20-foot room were invented in the 1960s, and now there are one or more personal computers even more powerful than the original room-sized computer in almost every home in the US, nay, in your pocket. They have brought encyclopedias of information and at-home ordering to one's fingertips. They are simply where it's at. In computer science, students learn about robotics, natural language recognition programs, artificial intelligence, programming languages, numerical analysis, and gaming technology. It is the forefront and already a staple in people's lives. The scope of information covered in one computer science degree is mind-blowing, considering its applications. A computer science major can somewhat securely look forward to a welcome place in today's economy. And Aluxers, there you have it, the top 10 most marketable degrees in the world. And now a question for you. If you had the money to go for any educational field you wanted, which of these degrees would you choose and why? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for watching all the way to the end, you know you get a bonus. Here it is. Computer science majors earn 27% more than other majors, starting out with a first-year salary, averaging about $53,834 every year. Not too shabby starting out. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.